people in each pot. You have to get on and get off as the wheel is moving at 1 mile per hour. At the top.
But if anyone's going to watch a West End show this evening, this is where they're taking. So folks, on the way through London, we are going to pass beneath lots of bridges. Cross Railway Bridge. The station is on the left, in the West End of London. Is he waving? Tend to find the ones who don't wave back, they're probably from London and miserable like the rest of us. And this river that was ever finished on time and under budget. So, I mean, of course, there was a man in charge of it all. Built for the Dukes and Earls of Somerset. It was inside that building where we used to keep all birth, death and marriage certificates, Somerset. Called Temple Arch. That is a boundary line between two cities. The city of Westminster, we are now leaving. We are entering the ones. I see you've got your cameras, some of you, and your phones. A good picture above the bridge on the left-hand side. A magnificent building, the dome and cross of St. Paul's Cathedral. St. Paul's was designed by Sir Chris, and this is said to be his masterpiece. It took 35 years to build, completed in 17 smaller towers. To the left of the dome, on top of those smaller towers are two.
Or maybe we're going to run into the wall.
Directly to the left hand, he was actually expelled from that school. He then went on to higher education. Today that building's is. Now look in front of you and you will see that they are very close together. And they do form somewhat of a tunnel. And this is, so we're not there yet, hang on. Now if you're not here today with your loved ones, I suppose you can always kiss your husband or wife. Remains of the old St. Paul's Railway Bridge. This was the first rail of the Chimney, the old Bankside power station. Today the Tate Modern Art Gallery. That is the biggest modern art gallery in the world, and it is free to walk around that building. After about 4 paint chucks up it, and a light bulb that has the ability to flick on and off all day long. A real piece of art is on the left hand side, St. Paul's. Now underneath, but just quickly follow the bridge through the buildings on the left hand side. It is a full length view of St. Paul's on the left hand side. Would have been done in the Elizabethan era. They do not use any stage lighting, no microphones, and that is the only thatched roof building in London since the Great Fire in 1666. The last time we looked, a few weeks ago, there was... Now the next bridge we go beneath is Suffolk Road Bridge. Not very interesting to be honest, but they do say it's a red barge. In the barge on the left are grey containers, and these containers are being loaded with all of London's rubbish. All of our rubbish or garbage, it is all taken to different riverside wharves. Every day 4 tugs come into London and they tow the bar. Happens all of our rubbish. On the right is probably my most favourite riverside pub, years old. It dates back to 1615. Very nice beer garden outside, full of character. It's worth going to. Probably the best food market we have here in London. Was it something I said? Front of the boat is London Bridge. And I'm sure the first one was built by the Romans over 2,000 years ago. And it is believed that that one was pulled down by Vikings. So a lot of people believe me when I say that. So that's in Arizona. And a building that I'm sure you've all seen throughout London to the right, home to London's highest viewing platform. That is on the 72nd floor, and it is definitely the best view of London you'll get. It's quite expensive in my opinion, but the views are very good. Now personally, I would recommend you going on the other side, and that is called the Sky Garden.
Oh, there's
Over 150 feet higher than the London Eye. And I like to... Now on the right we have the warship, the HMS Belfast. Built in Belfast, Northern Ireland, in the same shipyard that built the Titanic, the Harland and Wolff shipyard. Look at the front of the ship here, the Union Jack flying. This is the only Union Jack you'll see. The statue thing of James Bridge, I'm sure you're aware these centre parts open to allow taller ships through. But not a lot of people realise, look up above you at the top two catwalks, and in the middle they've been fitted with a glass floor. And if you look up there you can see people standing on the glass above your heads. And try not to look too closely. You'll be very surprised what you can see from down here sometimes. Comes in and takes you back to Westminster. They are every 30 minutes throughout the day. Now everyone, take this time to look at mud at the end of the film and where Bill Sykes fell to his death. This is all exactly the same as Dickens' times, and it was all filmed on location. That is St Saviour's Dock. With property being so expensive, what a lot of people are doing, found a much cheaper alternative than buying property here in London. That has become very popular for people to live on houseboats up and down the river.
That blue one.
Now if you... Dame Helen Mirren. Now when Cher lived in that building, she won't point it out to you when we go past it. Now to the left of Oliver's Wharf, on the side of this building, is a very famous... Just on the left hand side of the boat we've got the blue piers, that's the Thames Police Force. They are the oldest uniformed police force in the world. They're much older than the more famous Bow Street Runners. They would have so at one stage over 30% of cargo in London was being stolen. There's a lot of pubs in this part of the river, lots of pubs. The American and the British flag flying. They're flying outside of a little white pub called the Mayflower. Behind, here on the right. From here it sailed around to Plymouth, where it picked up the Pilgrim Fathers, and it then went in search for the New World. Cool at the moment, but that is in Whitechapel in the East End. The front is Globe Wharf, and this was the biggest, noticed, but the older buildings, they're built to the river's wall, and they're designed that way each million. You do tend to notice that the price of property, so the East End on the left is made up of lots of areas. This area is called Limehouse, and it can be quite tough sometimes. Sometimes we have to spend hours in those pubs. And it is all for your benefit. So you're all welcome in this area. But many people, even myself, Greenwich comes into view. I'll point out the places of interest. I'll show you what's worth seeing. And for your kind appreciation. Glad you enjoyed the commentary in the boat ride. We are now arriving. Ahead of us is the Royal Borough with supplies of fresh water and fuel before going back out to sea. Very nice. We'll come here to see is if you look just to the right of the Cutty Sark, look at the top of the hill to the right of the Cutty Sark, you're now going to see, just to the right of it, a small red castle.